Hello there, Ayan. Very cool to be able to mentor you. I think you've been around for almost 8 years on the site. That's crazy amount of time. But this is really cool. And I actually did some deep digging and found some nice videos of you on the site. And namely one where you were playing, I think it was like a solo by Darius Wave. And I think you did really well there. Very nice melody going on and a lot of good bending. And of course, there are a lot of opportunities for improvement as well, but that's the whole point of this. But it was really cool to see that you have come a long way, and you also showed me a great video of you strumming to a Beatles tune, and I could see you've definitely come a long way there. And I've also, I think, identified some opportunities in your goals and your playing style, because basically you've given me a great list of guitarists, just to name a few, like Andy Timmons, John Mayer, Eric Johnson, Joe Satriani, lots of other cool names there. And the good thing is they've definitely been an inspiration of mine as well. Hopefully that'll give us an advantage, like a home field advantage. I mean, Eric Johnson, big influence in terms of technique for me, and also Joe Satriani, his melodic style of soloing, very cool. Andy Timmons, although I've never learned any of his stuff, I'd say he's definitely one of my bigger influences in terms of, trying to get a nice tone and dynamic playing going. But all of these players have one thing in common, which you don't seem to use yet, and that is pentatonic scale and bluesy licks. And that goes for, the other names as well, John Mayer, Andre Nieri, probably Mark Letchery. I haven't done a lot of his stuff, and Plini. They all use the pentatonic scale for a good majority of all their lead playing. I mean, it's such an important scale, and it's a fairly easy scale to use for, coming up with melodies, coming up with cool leads, licks, anything where you want to add a bluesy touch, you're going to be playing the pentatonic scale. So I think, or I suspect, that this might be kind of our starting point, trying to make sense of pentatonic scale and how you can maybe start using a few basic, simple blues licks into your playing. And I definitely agree with you that a major challenge with learning online is just the amount of content and the complexity. So I will do my best to have that in mind as we get along and go along. And you can definitely remind me if needed, if I go just way complicated. But I think a good strategy would be to kind of break things down in, bit-sized chunks, just like learn a simple blues lick and see what we can do with that, and maybe try it out over a backing track. So actually, that would be my first task to you. And I already asked you about this, but you haven't got a lot of time to get back to me. But I would like to see if you have you ever played the pentatonic scale? Have you ever played a blues lick? I suspect you have, because as I said, I found a pretty cool take where you played a solo there. But if you have, that would be interesting to see kind of before we get rolling, because you showed me a great example of your chordal playing, but I think you come a long way in your lead playing as well. But having said this, just to give you an impression, what I think would be cool is if we just maybe find a lesson that uses maybe like the E minor pentatonic scale or the A minor pentatonic scale. So and I'm going to show you this in detail, but that trusty pentatonic box. That's the one on the 12th fret in the key of E. Using these notes, we can, of course, play blazingly fast and do all that fancy stuff, but we can also do... And I think that could be a good starting point for you. Just play some... like the E minor pentatonic scale. And then maybe we could find a backing track that, I don't know. And maybe we can make sense out of that scale and play some melodies, maybe learn a lick or two and kind of repeat a lick, I don't know. Something like that. I think that could be a cool starting point, but I first would like to encourage you to record a video where you show me any lead playing you've done, and if you know that one pentatonic scale. If you don't know it, that's totally fine. We'll go through it, but I'm just trying to gauge where we're at before I kind of start the teaching here. Cool, Ayan. So I'm looking forward to hear back from you. See ya. Cheers.